1045 The Team, 1045theteam.com. Joining me is Clint Jackson of Rivals.com. He was the very first guy to talk with me about Kevin Huerter's recruitment process. He's going to be a guy that bookends it with me here today. Kevin Huerter of Shenandoah was signed with Maryland yesterday. And Clint, we texted back and forth yesterday right after Kevin announced it on Twitter, and you said great signing. What makes Kevin Huerter a good fit at Maryland?
Well, I think, right now, I don't know where they are ranked preseason, but I think they're pretty close to number one. So it's definitely a team who's trending upwards. Playing, I think that the style that they play, the way they spread the floor and use, bigger guards with length, I think that's going to be a good fit for him. And I could always tell from, talking to Kevin a little bit, via text, that Maryland was going to be a school that was going to be pretty high up on his list. I thought Michigan was going to be up there as well, but, I guess he liked what he saw down in College Park, and he went ahead and committed. Maryland
in the Big Ten, no longer in the ACC. Does the Big Ten translate well to Kevin Huerter's game? Is it better fit for him than the ACC would have been?
I like the fit of either place. Kevin's a really talented kid. He's really versatile. I think he could have played well in any conference. Obviously, when you can handle the ball and shoot the ball and pass the ball the way he can with the length that he has in a legit 6'5" frame, I think his game translates well pretty much anywhere.
Do you think that Kevin Huerter, and kind of in this age, we talk about one-and-done players, freshmen making a huge impact, can Kevin Huerter come in and be an impact player right away as a freshman looking ahead here to 2016-17?
I definitely don't think he's a one-and-done talent. He's got to get a lot stronger, but he's a very good prospect. I think he's one of the top 40 kids in the country. That's where I feel he should be ranked, but I definitely respect the guys who do the national rankings because they see these kids more than I do. But I definitely think that he's going to be a kid who's going to surprise some people. I think that the first year he'll play some. I think he'll need to get stronger, but I think by the time this kid's a sophomore and junior, we're really going to get to see how good he is.
Now, you would talk to Kevin a little bit. We've had Kevin on our station. I want to know, though, did you get the sense that had it not been for scholarship reductions and having to go to prep school, that Syracuse would have been a really good fit for Kevin, or a place that he would have been really interested? Did this scholarship situation at Cuse cost them a Kevin Huerter?
I think it didn't. I don't think it helped. And, early on in the process before he kind of blew up, I kind of sensed, and I could be wrong, but I kind of sensed that Syracuse was a big school for him. But, definitely the fact with the scholarship reductions, and the NCAA stuff, I don't think that helped. Kevin had a lot of options, and a lot of these other colleges had a chance to sell against, waiting another year. So, Kevin Huerter, class of 2016, he's already an elite kid there. And I think that, just the fact that he had so many options, he could sort of go wherever felt perfect for him and not, have to wait an extra year. So I definitely don't think that the stuff at Syracuse helped. And, I think Maryland got a real steal with Kevin Huerter.
How good is Maryland going to be? You just alluded to it. We know Maryland has a very good chance at being the preseason number one, even though a school that you cover and Duke just won the national title. How good is Maryland going to be? Tell us a little bit about what the Terps got coming in as far as you know.
I mean, they got Diamond Stone, who's an elite, top 5 freshman coming in, and, to go with their returning guys, Tremble and those guys. I think they're going to be long, they're going to be talented, they're going to be deep, and I just, you can't ever tell until you watch them play, but on paper they look really, really good, and I'm excited to see them play this year. I think Turgeon has those guys amped up, and I think they're going to have, just so much size and depth and talent across the floor that I think, we're going to see these guys go deep into March.
Kevin Huerter commits to Maryland yesterday, announced it on Twitter, helped lead Shenandoah to the Class AA New York State Championship this past season. Will look to help the Plainsmen repeat here in 2015-16. Clint, I always want to ask you this question. Because of how good Shen was, Kevin Huerter didn't really put up huge numbers during the high school season. He was constantly getting taken out of games, early in the second half, wasn't putting up the huge numbers. So how much of his blowing up came from just the AAU season, or was it kind of a combination of the end of the high school season where he wins the state championship into the AAU season?
That's a great question, Brady. I think that on a national level, it almost all came from AAU. I think a lot of people watched him, and he immediately jumped out at them. And, once the tweets started going crazy and all these analysts are chiming in, that's sort of how kids blow up. And, the fact that he was putting up good numbers on the top circuit, the Nike EYBL, I think most of it nationally did have to do with AAU. But, locally and regionally, I think that a lot of the coaches up in the Northeast already knew full well of Kevin.
Kevin Huerter commits to Maryland. He will be a Terrapin for the 2016-17 season. He's got some unfinished business here in his senior year at Shenandoah. Clint Jackson of Rivals.com. You were with us at the beginning. You were with us at the end. Thanks for being with us all the way throughout here on Kevin's recruitment. Best of luck to you.
Same here. Thanks, Brady.